as has been said before, I'm Engineer Danmo Mabambe, Director Technical Services for the Standards Association of Zimbabwe. The Standards Association of Zimbabwe is Zimbabwe's national standards body, mandated to develop standards and provide their use. The association also offers testing services, and one of the divisions that test products is the Chemical and Food Technology Division, headed by Rumizai Shoshe, here with me today. This division is responsible for testing of foods and chemicals. The laboratory offers testing services to industry, raw material suppliers, that is, manufacturers, retailers, distributors, and consumers. The laboratory is also accredited to ISO 17025 in water chemistry, aflatoxin, and microbiology. The Grain Millers Association of Zimbabwe tasked the laboratory to analyze milling meal samples for glyphosate. Glyphosate, I'm sure all of us are now aware, is a cancer-forming chemical. The 6 samples of milling meal for the following brands: Ngwere Super Refined Meal, Red Seal Super Roller Meal, Sunrise Roller Meal, Mega Roller Meal, Palenta, and Chipataura Roller Meal were then analyzed. The following are the results of analysis. In all the analyzed samples, the levels of glyphosate were below 0.5 parts per million, which is the limit of detection for the method of test. It is important to note that there are governing limits for every pesticide, known as maximum residue levels, or MRLs. These are the maximum concentrations in or on feed, food, or plant and animal origin that is legally tolerated for it to be considered safe for consumption. Our national standards for maize meal, Zimbabwe Standard 760, makes reference to the codex limits for glyphosate in maize to which manufacturers should comply with. And this codex is an internationally agreed food standard. So the one in particular was Codex 158 of 2006, whose glyphosate limit for maize is 5 parts per million. This is the maximum level of glyphosate that should be in food that is consumed. 5 parts per million versus less than 0.5 parts per million detected in the samples provided. This means that the detected levels are below the maximum residue limits in the analyzed milling meal samples. Therefore, these samples are fit for or are safe for consumption. We would like to thank the Grain Millers Association of Zimbabwe for organizing the press conference, which we believe will educate Zimbabweans. We encourage all organizations who have a responsibility in ensuring food safety across the food chain to monitor and test their products. By so doing, safeguarding the health and safety of consumers. I thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Nagambe and Standard Association of Zimbabwe. We will not take questions at this point in time. We'll move on to the Grain Millers Association of press statement, which will be followed by questions thereafter. At this point, I hand over to Dr. Mstapa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chirimota. We would like to express our sincere and profound gratitude to the Office of the Director General of the Standard Association of Zimbabwe for facilitating this critical assignment. It is routine within our internal quality management protocols to test for any harmful substance in the grain that we receive both from foreign and domestic markets. The results are, however, for internal consumption. Since we commenced imports in October of 2023, no harmful content of glyphosate or any other materials detected by our internal labs. Harmful content. Zimbabwe is arguably second to Africa Zimbabwe is arguably second to South Africa in the Southern and Eastern Africa region in matters of food regulation, testing, and product development. All local millers are obtaining maize from same silos, which is milled to produce the same brands that are sold nationwide in all retail shops. We are obtaining maize from the silos that also supply to South African millers and export to Botswana, Lesotho, Swaziland, and Namibia. No case of harmful glyphosate content has been reported in those countries. National Foods, Blue Ribbon, and other millers whose brands were falsely accused to contain harmful glyphosate content are members of Grain Millers Association. The association will stand and fall with them in defending their legal commercial activities. We want to assure the market that Zimbabwe is food secure with supplies way exceeding demand. The food is safe, healthy, and nutritious. Consumers are free to buy as much quantities as they desire and afford. We have favored our legal team with instructions to obtain all the necessary relief from the courts against all persons who have been peddling false and malicious information against our members' plans. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Msarara. At this point, I will be assisted by Pepe Klomwani and we'll take a round of questions.
Okay, so we are going to take questions, maybe 3, then we have another set of 3, allow them to respond to the questions. Those with questions, let's see by raising hands. Okay, I'll start with Anesu Leo, then, yeah.
My question would be very much in terms of business impact, how much this allegation raised against the organization financially and in terms of the organization being traded?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. It's also addressed to Dr. Msarara. This matter was reported to the police some time ago. I think we have the RRP number. What is the update at the present moment? I'm sure everyone knows who was reported and who had these statements. What is the update now?
Yes, Mr.
Okay, thank you very much. I will rise on a point of the media expert and also as a human rights defender, and I stand on the position from Dr. Msarara of ascertaining that indeed they do everything to defend their neighbors. But I will also say collectively we do everything to defend the interest of the masses. We have a meeting point of interest. The issue was raised about 11 months ago and we saw samples coming in, whether authentic or not, the laboratories being circulated, an issue that then brought interest, and maybe 8 months ago. And it took the board, which we've got, of course, capacity, I don't doubt that, this long to respond and to bring facts. Notwithstanding the fact that the media, as the informer, the educator of the people throughout this whole process, we only see now the media being invited with results. It's as good as, in my view, a case of a DNA, you have an argument, then someone brings results. So I really feel that in the interest of transparency, we could have seen certain processes involving even the Consumer Council of Zimbabwe, even the consumers, even media itself, to track the process. Not to say that the results are maybe not correct, but all I'm saying is that transparency is important from the take-off position, the process, and to the end. So I believe that, of course, personally, I'm happy that at least for the first time, we maybe close to a year, we see a response.
Okay, so the question is, was it a question or it was just a comment?
Okay. Maybe to pose a question. Assume that you had gone in this process, the way you had gone, and you found that your members, whom you protect so much, have got issues. Were you going to come here and declare it that way? Considering the sensitivity of this matter and having, of course, the rise of cancer cases in the country, if really you were found wanting after declaring, assume you're going to declare yourselves that way, were you prepared to face the victims? And if so, were you going to be prepared to compensate or even to do the ordinary thing and apologize?
Okay. Let me allow the panel to respond to the questions, the 3 questions that we have.
Thank you very much. Let me start with my sister here. I don't think I get her question correctly. It's if this had happened, what would they have done? Here, I would love to answer to questions relating to the outcome of exactly what has come out. We have been, as an association, importing, I think, from 11 countries worldwide, both for wheat, maize, rice, popcorn, salt. And we are well versed in the areas of pre-shipment inspection, and also we do test in those countries with the equivalent bodies as SAZ. The outcome of this report shows that there is no harmful content of glyphosate. And I would want to, from the basis of the outcome, now say, what are we going to do? We are going to continue to buy from the same sources. We're going to feed our country, and where we feel aggrieved, the lawyers will take care of that. I'll come to the police report. Yes, there was a case of one individual whom we reported to police. In terms of our laws, communicating falsehoods is a crime. And I think a number of people have been arraigned before the court. So the docket is with the Conventional Crimes Unit. We are also going to finish them further with these details so that the state case can be strengthened. And we await to hear from the police from now on going forward. The key issue that we need to understand is that private sector are private individuals who are investing capital to provide food, and we participate in the national security of the country through food provisions. We accept any criticism. I think you may notice that, you may remember that we even called the individual to come and present the evidence. So yes, maybe we might talk about 8 months, but at what period did we get any official communication from that particular individual? It would have been fair for the individual to come to us and say, this is what I found, can you answer? So we are typically a case of a trial that has been conducted in our absence, and we were never given the right of reply, any of the members concerned. No formal communication, no visitation. Would have loved that. Or what we started to see were articles just attacking. And I think we'll never build a country. If anyone has got an industrial issue, please come forward. I'm happy to meet you. See, and I think because we've met today, we can always work together tomorrow. So having somebody just firing from the woods, attacking us, is not only unfair, but it causes unnecessary alarm and despondency. We have done this not because we are primarily reacting to this individual, but we wanted to calm the market. To calm the market. I'll come to the issue of impact of financial and otherwise. Some of our members are listed companies. They've built, it's taken them more than 100 years to build their brands. Just their brands on its own is an asset. And attacking them affects their relationships with the financial community, with investors, and with consumers as well. So they've taken all this long to build good faith. And it only takes someone a few months to try to destroy that. But as an association, our role now is to communicate exactly what is there. The market will judge. If anyone has got information that is detrimental, please come forward. Let's talk, let's exchange notes, and then we'll move forward. But attacking us or some of our big members without evidence and without proper decorum, to us, we are left with no choice but to be under reasonable apprehension that there is extortion somewhere. You're making noise in order to get some reward. And we'll not give in to that.
Thank you. Another round of questions? If they, okay.
Okay. So, do you naturally have glyphosate in organically grown or processed foods?
I wish this is directed to the SAC. Any other question before they respond to that? Yes.
Who conducted the testing, and were there any independent third-party organizations representing the consumers?
Okay. Yeah. Any other? Okay. Yeah.
So my question is
Directed to.
GMAZ Association.
Okay.
So, does this meal contain glyphosate or not? You have been pointing that it contains 0.5 what. So the question directly is, does your meal contain glyphosate? Yes or no?
Yeah. SAZ will respond to that. Better suited for that. Okay. So his question basically is that from the submissions that the Standards Association made, there was a mention that what was tested, you find that there is 0.5 units parts per million. So his question is following on that to then say, does that then mean that we have glyphosate in the middle?
All right. Thank you very much. I think I will touch on this question and then your question at the same time. So glyphosate is a pesticide. It's a herbicide, master-based pesticide. It's used to treat weeds during the pre-planting process. So yes, you can expect to find traces because they use it as a herbicide. But this now comes back to what levels of the traces are then in the final product. That is what is important.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, I'll take the second question of involvement of probably other stakeholders. In this case, there were none, but I'm sure in my presentation I said that our laboratory is accredited to ISO 17025. It means that we have taken the necessary steps to guarantee the outcomes of our testing. We use standard methods which have been validated, and there are also quality assurance and quality control procedures to make sure that results that can be trusted are produced at the end of the day.
Yeah, sure, thanks. Let me add, let them move us to who conducted the testing, the independent, with the consumers represented. This matter was brought before the Consumer Protection Commission. And I think they did their own test, they will speak for themselves. However, the consumers wanted to hear from us as the manufacturers. And I did, media made several inquiries about this matter. And hence we've come to decision now to take our product to the Standard Association of Zimbabwe. It's the norm that whenever you are manufacturing something, you take it for testing. All of the products that are SAZ certified, it is the manufacturer who takes them there, or the SAZ visits that manufacturer. There is not necessarily need for any other independent organization. SAZ is any independent laboratory. It has its own way of testing and announcing the results. But should need be, we are ready to run again the test tomorrow. If one wants us to redo them in your presence, we felt that legally we were not compelled to do this. But from a PR point perspective, we need to assign. But if there are people who want to say, let's run them, we'll start this afternoon. We'll pay that. We'll pay for that. Oh. And then it takes about 16 days. I hope you'll be in the laboratory night and day. But we are more than happy to redo it. This was out of our own initiative. Oh. Right? When we write and say this is roller mill, okay, there is the consumer who go and test and buy this roller mill, who find it as roller mill. When we say there is carbohydrates and everything, those literature we put at the back. We do it on our own, and we send to SAZ for certification. So this we've done it because we felt we need to speak to the consumers through the media. If this debate has to go on and further tests needed, we are more than happy to do it here or abroad. 100% we pay for it. But this is, I'm just saying this to show how confident we are with our product. But the question will be, when the other individual, Matinyara, took his samples to France, he did it without the knowledge of the manufacturer. I don't know whether you were there when this was done. If you want to do something openly, fairly, and transparently, you should have come to say, I want a sample, I'm taking it to ABC. All we saw was that I've taken this, I've taken that, as who? You know, we can't have a country where anyone can just, if you want to do it openly, do it transparently. Let's meet, let's talk about it, and we do the test. So in this case, we've done ours, we've shown you, and we are more than ready to redo the test again, so that you are satisfied. So if there are consumers who want to do that, please come. 100% will meet the budget for that. This is how confident we are. And we are entitled to know. Consumers have the right to know. Consumers have the right to know. And us as manufacturers, we have the right to account, to explain. So we are free anytime to send us any questions. If you want us to run it again, we can book them now. You just send us the invoice, we do it together. But we feel it won't be necessary. But if it is, then GMAZ is more than ready to cooperate.
Okay, so I'll get another round, maybe the last one, the last round of questions. Yes, a second bite. And you? Any other hint? Okay, I think those two will close it. Yeah?
Last one, just a quick one. So are consumers, I didn't get it, are consumers individually, are they allowed to do their own testings, provided they have equipment or they're just worried as consumers? Are they allowed?
Okay.
Mine is that you mentioned France. I know France is amongst